Hello, all health students. We're going to be talking about tobacco right now. So, why is this discussion important at all? Well, 90% of adult smokers smoke their first cigarette before 18. You are all before the age of 18. So, we are having this discussion because it's really important that you know all the negative aspects of it. And it does start young. People make these bad decisions when they're young, and it's actually improving right now in the country and the world. There's less cigarette smokers now than there used to be, and a big part of that is because of the health education that we're doing right now. So every day in the United States, still every day, 4,000 teens take up smoking. 1,000 teens become daily smokers. Again, numbers might be slightly going down. This is still a major, major issue. We're going to be talking a little bit about what people are currently doing today that is a little bit different, but still fits into this category of smoking. So, what are some of the risks? It's the number one cause of preventable disease and death in the United States. There's all sorts of things that could get you right. I mean, one way or another, people are dying from heart disease, from cancer. Some of these things are genetic. There's nothing that you could do about them. This is something you can do. So you can not ever start smoking in the first place. And that's going to be a lot easier than trying to quit later on because once an individual starts smoking, very, very difficult to quit. Some people have said that smoking cigarettes in terms of the addiction part could be as addictive as some of the most hardcore drugs that are out there. So here are some statistics. How many people die each year from smoking? About 1 in every 5 deaths, about 480,000, are due to smoking. So it kills more people than um, more Americans than, let's say, than alcohol, than car accidents, than people committing suicide, from dying from AIDS, from homicide, from one person killing somebody else, from taking illegal drugs like drug overdoses like heroin or crack cocaine. So cigarettes do more than all of those things, and it's legal, right? And it's not legal for you right now, but it is legal in this country. So just because something's legal doesn't mean that that means you have a green light to go ahead and do it. So, still the most common method of tobacco use is cigarettes. Other methods include cigars. Generally, people just puff on the cigar and keep it inside of their mouth, even though that they're not inhaling it as much as they would before. It's still very dangerous. You could still get throat cancer from doing that. There are pipes, which are things like hookah pipes, which I'll show you a picture of soon. There's smokeless tobacco, like chewing tobacco, and then the e-cigs or the vape pens. So, chewing tobacco or smokeless tobacco, strands of tobacco chewed and held in the mouth, and sometimes called snuff. The nicotine is actually absorbed through the mouth tissues, and it winds up being very, very addictive. Um, Next is the hookah pipe. So in this device, as you can see over here, the smoke will get cooled down and it kind of becomes like a communal thing. There's like a lot of hookah bars out there that people go to um, where they will have like different flavors, and it actually might smell pretty good if you're walking past it. You're like, what's that like artificial flavor scent right there? And then you realize what they're doing, and then you don't want to be breathing that in because that is, of course, secondhand smoke, which we'll talk a little bit about soon. Then you have your e-cigarettes. So these are particular ones that look just like a cigarette, kind of like to hide it, I guess, about like you want it to look like a cigarette. But the new ones, as you see, the vape pens there's all sorts of designs right over here. Originally marketed as an aid for smokers trying to quit, it's now getting more people than ever smoking than ever did before. So if you look here, this is a wild statement right here, okay? All 17 of our cases show a pattern of injury in the lung that looks like toxic chemical exposure, a toxic chemical fume exposure, or a chemical burn injury. So this is a doctor, a surgical pathologist at the Mayo Clinic. To be honest, they look like the kind of change you would expect to see in an unfortunate worker in an industrial accident where a big barrel of toxic chemical spills and that person is exposed to toxic fumes and there's a chemical burn in the airways. That's what they're finding from some of these people that are smoking these e-cigarettes.